Well, hello. It is I on the main channel. At the slightly later time of 8:30, good evening. It is another episode of The Inquisition with me hosting tonight. I am on the main channel. I do have access to the main channel, so I apologise for everyone who saw pictures of Duncan's feet today. He is in Majorca on holiday, so won't be on the stream tonight, but we do have a guest either way, and I am here to present. And speaking of our guest, they are here with us, so let's get them in and let's phone for the thing. Hopefully we have no technical issues tonight, and we do not have technical issues tonight. Perfect. The guest is here. Can people in the chat hear us? Because that was a problem last week. Please let us know, because we will crack on regardless. Anyway, how are you doing, mate?
Good.
Just about here. Oh, we've got no sound. You've got earphones in, haven't you? Tablet, Ryan, go fuck yourself.
Is that better?
There is. There's sound. I've got you loud and clear. Cool.
Cool, let me turn this down. How are we doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much for coming on. How's yourself?
Not bad, not bad.
Good.
Just been another normal day in the life of me, doing nothing.
Hey, could be worse. Could be worse. So, thank you very much for coming on The Inquisition. We always start every show with the first few questions, and I know you've caught us a few times before, so let's just fire into them. For those who do not follow you, give yourself a brief introduction, who you are, how you got into painting Warhammer and various other bits of plastic, and what was the first thing you painted?
So, my name's Les. I have a stupid Instagram name, the Child of the Emperor. It was, I don't know where it came from or what made me choose it, but I don't know, it's probably too long now to change it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I had a little dabble with Warhammer back in the mid-90s for one sort of winter period when it was too cold to go out, and I fell out of it. Then, I suppose during lockdown, I sort of got into the lore of the stuff after being sort of slowly in the background, seeing stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, I suppose it's end of 2024, I randomly see on a deal they've got a starter set with the paints and like the 3 Space Marines and the box of 10 Infernus Marines for like 30 quid for the 2 boxes. And I thought, oh, sod it, give it a crack. And yeah, I've just been doing it ever since again, which has been, it's stopped me watching crap on telly.
Oh, don't. I turned around this evening and my son was watching some new thing with Graham Norton about people who live in a fake village and they have to vote each other off every week. This is how many more of these shows can we end up having on the telly? It's a joke. But painting things is better than watching brain rot shite. So
we don't have access to general TV. Like the kids have access to Netflix and the Disney Channel, and that's it. There's no normal TV in my house. No one watches it.
No,
if anyone's watching anything, it's on YouTube half the time.
Yeah, don't blame you. It's all shy. So you got back into it in 2024 properly. How do you find from when you left off after doing it in like I say mid-90s to how everything looks now? It's a hell of a change, isn't it?
Yeah, everything back then. So I got the Necromunda set when it first came out, which had the little same things as monoposed little plastic minis you couldn't do anything with, and other than that was the white metal minis.
Yeah.
I painted some. I wish I still had what I had, but I haven't had the metal ones. I think I've got one left, which I painted last year because it just sat there plain. But yeah, like I remember seeing the Orcs and Space Marines that some friends had, and then when I said, "Oh, these are a bit bigger than I remembered because they're Primaris," and yeah, he just seemed to be, "Oh, look, you can." Oh, look, they're a bit more different. And then I was like, hold on a minute, not really understanding kit bashing. I was like, oh, if I just do this and that, I can fucking do what I like with it. And that I suppose he was bashing, got me a bit more interested in it. Just start sticking stuff where it shouldn't go to make them a bit more fun. And yeah, I suppose I just did it, and then I just got more involved with doing it in a weird way.
No, I mean, there's nothing weird about it, is it? There's nothing weird about grown men sticking plastic together and painting them. But I haven't got a problem with it. It's the missus. So, having gotten back into it then and seen all the changes and stuff, did you just jump in and think, this box looks like ultramarines, I'll paint them that? Or was it just purely, I'm going to paint them how I like it and sod it?
Yeah, so I got the starter set, and it was you could only paint them like ultramarines. I did the 3 in the box, and I had the other 10. And I was like, I don't want to just paint them blue.
Yeah.
So I went to my local Warhammer shop, which I hadn't been to for a while. I was surprised it was still there. I hadn't been there for over 20 years. It's still there now. And I went in there. I was like, yeah, I'll just do some painting. He's like, what do you want to paint them like? And I was like, I've got blue. I was like, I want to paint them West Ham colours. So I painted them claret and blue, and that worked for a while. And then once I did them, I painted a couple of orcs. And then by then it was Christmas time, and my wife had bought me a box of Plague Marines. And I was like, these are good because each one of them is different.
Yeah.
They're all different. And I was like, this is great. And my kids bought me Sisters of Battle.
Oh, nice.
Because I'd seen them, I was like, nuns with guns. It's great. And then my birthday wasn't that long after, and I got a box of Tau, which I absolutely hate. Small little things that you didn't enjoy, and some Necrons, which were so I'd like to paint more Necrons.
Yeah.
But I haven't bought any more in that sense. I've just bought Death Guard and Space Marines. And some other bits and bobs.
Yeah. I will say, having painted Necrons, they can be a bit of a bore. Like, when you've got 50 of something that just look the same, spray of metal done. But there's definitely bits I found more interesting with them than others. But you say, obviously, during that gap that you had, you kept your toe dipped with the lore. So was it like just picking up the Black Library book, reading the heresy stuff that I know people sort of stay with, or was it just like wine hunting?
I don't read. I can't read in a weird sense. I'm dyslexic, so reading a book, I get lost. If Warhammer was like the Black Library books were done in like anime books with pictures and small bits of like context, I could fly through it. So it was when I used to work security, I used to do night shifts. YouTube was still sort of a newish thing then, but I came across some small channels on there. I mean, most of them are probably not there anymore, and they were just giving you like a 5-minute video on the lore of this faction and chapter or this group of people, and then that's how I sort of kept in with it. And then once lockdown came in, I proper went into listening to 2-hour deep dives on things, and it was quite interesting because you was like, oh, there's a lot more to this now than what I ever did know.
Yeah.
And
obviously having, like you say, dabbled in the 90s to see how much it's expanded and blown up, and it's gone more wide properly, hasn't it? It's a lot more of a thing than it ever used to be.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than I expected it to be, like on a worldwide scale. It is quite amazing. I was talking to someone the other day because they had posted a picture, and I was like, I remember seeing this somewhere, and I can't remember what game it was, and they were like, oh yeah. I picked this up in Egypt when it came out, and I'm like, wow, like how was this ever for sale in Egypt? Like the reach they had, and this was like the early 2000s, where the game is like, it wasn't Gorkamorka, it's something came out about the same sort of time. It was like ships and boats. I can't remember what GW game it was.
I think that was called Dreadfleet or or Battlefleet Gothic, maybe. One of them two. I'm trying to shake my brain here, but
I can't remember. Yeah, it was one of them, and I was like, wow, like you picked it up in Egypt. Like, all places you would have think it would never have worked.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So, painting is your thing.
Yeah,
What would you say has been, since getting back into it, the favourite thing that you've painted?
probably Death Guard, because every every model is different.
Yeah.
It's still the same colours, but there's no, it's just a different gun and the arms in a different pose. It's, look, this one's got a lot more metal involved with it and chains and stuff, and this one, there's a lot more octopusy bits
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's a lot more, you can, especially if you're batch painting. It's not just, look, blah blah blah, and just repeating the same thing. It's a bit more thinking involved.
Yeah. Sorry, my wife's just putting a candle next to me for some reason. You saying I stink?
No, I just thought it would be nice afterwards.
Only ambience. I'm on a web stream. I don't know. So, I'll tell you what, here's a good one, right? Obviously, from starting off on the Space Marines, jumping over the Death Guard, and thinking about when you painted years ago when everything was just purely monopose. When you said Necromunda, I remember those minis. It's the huge, massive hench guys with a gun and a tiny knife and mohawks. I think that's always what sticks with it. Yeah.
The Goliath and the Orlocks were the two in the box.
Yeah.
And I got them and I put them together, and I think I had painted, just so you could distinguish them when trying to play, that I painted the boots. One of them just had black boots and the other one had brown boots, so you could see what they were. But I bought the House Etcher, which was the girl gang.
Yeah.
And I painted a bit more on them apart from any kind of flesh, because I looked at it, I had no idea how to paint flesh, and I still don't.
Nah, you're not alone. You are honestly not alone. It's one of those things that's an absolute pain in the arse. And especially back then as well, because the paints were shite. They were absolutely god-awful. They're a little bit better now, and I think there's more to pick from, isn't there? So it makes it a bit easier. So with the Death Guard, right, something that I've had people say, and I sort of stay with them, I do like them, but it feels like they're slightly over-designed. Do you find that's the case, or are you just happy that, like you say, because everything is so different, that
some of them are more over-designed than others. Yeah. And you always say, I've done 2 sets of Plague Marines and a couple of characters, but like the Foul Blightspawn, which I'd done recently, there were so many bits of metal and stuff of it, and I was like, God, there's loads on this. And he's like, and it's the thing, you paint them away and you look around and go, how have I missed that bit? How's this bit here I've completely ignored? Now I've spotted it, and there's a bit of pink needs to go somewhere, or there's a little bits of chain hanging off or something. You go, how did I not see that beforehand?
Yeah, I'm like that. I'll paint a whole mini, look at it, and just see this huge dark patch of undercoat. Like, oh. But you're not alone there. It's lovely that they go to such effort, but then when you want to paint something to enjoy it, it's a pain in the arse when you realise I've missed something and you've got to go back and
but with them, compared to any other Chaos, they don't have as much fucking trim. There's got so much trim on the other Chaos, it's unbearable. There's too much of it. I've got a box of Chaos Legionnaires and I look at them going, I don't want to paint the trim.
I do not blame you. Just very quickly, guys, if you are in the chat, you got any questions for Les, ping them in. Quite happy to read them out. The more people that get involved, the better it is, because then I don't empty my brain of questions within 20 minutes. So get involved. Speaking of which, actually, going back to the paints and everything, since getting back into it, obviously you bought the paint sets. Have you stuck with the Citadel / Warhammer paints, or have you branched out, tried anything different?
Yeah, I'm like 80% of what I've got is Citadel. Yeah. Because it's where I live, that is the easiest paint to get hold of, walking into a shop. I have branched out. I've got some Vallejo, especially like the fluoros and stuff like that.
Yep.
And some war paint, like flesh tones.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to use the flesh tone, like their flesh tone seem to be quite nice. And I've dabbled a bit now into more contrast paint as well from the Citadel because it's so much easier. Just like contrast paint that does it because I become the point where as well as I was painting, I was doing things. I started to look at, oh, well, this is like trying to paint things how they should be, and go, oh yeah, oh, like, and you start edge highlighting, and yeah, and so edge highlighting is not for me.
No,
But
I
and
agree.
some of them you can get away with, but I was doing some blood angels, and it was like, and I'm trying to like, oh, I can paint it under one fat highlight and a small one, but then if you're using the colours, you can see there's too much difference in between them, and you
Yeah.
need to be doing like four highlights. No, I'm not doing the four highlights. It's too much effort, and I'm completely anti-edge highlight now, unless I really want to.
Yeah.
For like, say on the Death Guard, I may just run a little bit of silver over the brass bit of
Yeah.
trim because there's not so much, just a little bit of silver, and it just gives it a little bit more of a pop. But I've sort of discovered a way of recent how to cheat painting,
Okay.
which is, especially now we have been doing Death Guard and Raven Guard, is I bought Colour Forge Primal,
Yeah.
which is exactly the same as more as the paint should be. So with the Death Guard, painting the Death Guard green with the Colour Forge, I do all the details and other bits, and then I use the Death Guard green Citadel paint and just get rid of all the mistakes and little overspills. And like, yep,
Yeah.
done. It's sod base coating a whole model, and like with the Raven Guard, I think I painted but do the same thing. And then once to get rid of mistakes, I've been using Black Templar contrast paint just to touch them up.
No, you're that is, I will say with the colour forge stuff, you're spot on. I know people that will just spray it one colour, use a black undercoat or colour forge, and then go to whatever the main colour needs to be and spray that as well. Because it, like you say, it matches and it just saves time.
Yeah, so much more.
Do you think then that for you, time saving is a big deal when you're painting then? Because like, I find that, I mean, if something works and I can do it quick, I will keep those techniques rather than, like you say, trying to edge highlight something or blend it to the 9th degree.
Yeah, it's so much easier and quicker just to do them with that, and then crack on with the more bits that are more time consuming, like hitting the little bits of detail well as best as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, because otherwise, I was, especially when I was doing the first ones in West Ham colours, this panel's going to be this blue, this panel's going to be that different blue, and this panel's going to be a claret colour, and then just working around. But then I'll be doing one leg, and it's 3 different colours in places, and then go, oh no, I've got to, and then I was like, all right, well I'll do all the claret first, and then all this and that, and yeah, it's just base coating became a bit more of a pain than enjoyment sort of thing.
It's funny you say that because donkeys ago when I first started painting off when I was a kid, I used to think, oh, I'll paint them palace colours. Stripes are an absolute pain in the arse to try and paint, especially blue and red ones. Like, I don't know how you're stuck out doing the claret ones. It's madness to it.
I did paint one as a death eagle.
Yeah.
So it's half white and half sort of claretish, but it's one side is opposite to the other side.
Mm.
And it came to the point where I probably got it more or less bang on perfect the way, but because there was keep going back and back over in places that you just keep working the base coat paint, and then you can see where there's more layers in places, and it starts to look worse the more you have to keep doing it. And I was just like, yeah, I need a better way to actually do this now.
Yeah. So the sprays are perfect for it.
Yeah, and because I'm someone that did graffiti for a long time, I'm quite easily with a spray can.
But it's amazing when you figure out what little skills are interchangeable with some of these things, isn't it? It's like we've had people on here before who I can't remember what this one guest did, but it was like a proper artsy-fartsy style of painting, and they just put it straight onto minis, and they were able to adapt what they did.
Yeah.
I think painting, in a way, is painting. Doesn't matter what you paint, but it's just the scale, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose, yeah. It's when you start looking at people that do the non-metallic metal,
Mm.
and it's like the layering up of things. Like, oh yeah, I'd like to give that a go. And you think, I'm just going to overwork it again.
Yeah.
And it's just going to eventually, at a point, it'll look half decent, and then it will start going backwards. And you're like, I can't be dealing with that as well.
No, I agree. I am exactly the same. You get to a point where you think you're happy with it, you notice that one thing, and then it's straight back down the slide. Yeah. But we think this is fun for some reason, don't we?
Yeah.
um, with the where you're getting back into it all, then, Liz, are you focusing purely on the painting, or do you think at some point you might want to roll the dice and give it a go if you don't already?
I thought about playing 40k, but it's the amount of points you need.
Yeah.
So I think where I had painted a load of Space Marines in different colours and whatnot, I've gone back through and I've painted everything as Raven Guard now.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably got about 12,000 points of Raven Guard, maybe a bit more. And I've probably got about 500 points of Death Guard.
Mm.
But other than that, I've got some Kill Team stuff.
Okay.
So I've got the Kill Team Plague Marines and the Angels of Death, and I bought the Nemesis Claw.
Yeah.
And luckily, a little while ago, I was at a war boot, and I got talking to someone. I got talking to someone there who lives 15 minutes down the road from me.
Sweet.
So I'm in Dagenham, and this was in Southend. I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, like, I'm starting to pub up.
Cool.
So I've been going down here, like, sort of watching how 40k works and whatnot. And 2 weeks ago, one of his friends, a guy came down here and was like doing introductory games of Kill Team.
Oh,
like, fuck it, that's me, here we go. And I played my first 2 games of Kill Teams 2 weeks ago, lost both of them. Had great fun losing. One game which was, it probably lasted the time it should be, and we got to the end, and I lost like 9 to 15 because I got to the point was I'm in computer game mode, and I forgot the objectives. I'm just like, go and kill you, just try and kill some models. And in the second game I had, didn't got to like the end of round 2, just because I was like, the stratagem you've got with yours and compared to mine, or mine have got more, I can take more damage compared to yours. But because you've got a certain way of doing it, it's going to be harder for me. And I was just like, right, well, I've got the shoot maneuver. And he was just like, stab. And I just got right close. It was just literally, it was a melee roll off. Just like, yeah. And I think the game lasted about 50 minutes. But it was good fun. I want to get some more in.
Yeah, you know what? I will always say to anyone who's fancying giving 40k a go, Kill Team is perfect intro to it. It is quick. It's the same sort of concept of here's some points, go capture them, and you've got your little stratagems and little points that you can spend, like your CP. It's fun. You don't get that feeling of that. I've been playing 40k recently. You don't get a headache afterwards.
Yeah, also I've been watching people play, and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this, and with these ones I can do that, and this move, and all right, so you've moved them, and then like you've moved, and then you've done your attack phase with them, but you only got one attack phase with them group of people, and then the ones you were attacking when it's other guys go, he seems to have like rolled his dice 5 times, and you only rolled them twice. Like, what?
Yeah.
So well, you need to know the rules, and it's the rules for each different unit, and it's just like, oh yeah, my brain isn't remembering all of this on a whim. Like, I'm gonna need, once I've got an army built, I'm gonna need someone to sit there and physically teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
But luckily, say with 11th coming out soon, hopefully by then, as it all changes again, maybe I'll buy a codex and I'll sit there and read the book for 3 weeks, and try and get the base idea of it, and then try and find something to give me like an introductory game to it. Yeah.
I think where you got your club, it sounds like the perfect way of doing it, to be honest with you. I will say as well, like when you're doing stuff on your own, if you don't push yourself out there and find some people to do it with, it's the result that you've found someone. Graham, have you put EastEnders on? It's South London meets East London tonight, and we haven't got a Scottish person in here to mix it up, so we're taking over. That's what's going on. But no, it's not EastEnders. Fuck off. So he lives on a moor in the middle of nowhere, so don't worry about him. But yeah, it is like I say, 40k is a lot to take in, because even like I had a game the other night, and where you're saying about losing, I've lost every game I've played since I've gotten back into it. I've gone like 9 games straight losing streak, including playing my son some random thing. So do not worry about that. I am the master of it. I feel like a quote from Mighty Ducks: losing isn't fun until you get the hang of it. So you know, it's part of the process. But no, good on you for getting out there and giving it a go, because there are a lot of people that I suppose don't have that opportunity, do they?
Yeah, I say, luckily I found a club which is, I can walk there. It's every Saturday, and I can walk there in 25 minutes. It's in a little like manor house social club.
Nice.
Alcohol's cheap.
It's a bonus.
Getting a double Scotch and Coke for £3.80. Like inside the M25 is ridiculous. Like if you go into London, that's a £15 drink. I can get free for that in now. So yeah, it's good fun.
Nah, that's, you know what? That's also a nice thing as well. If we're all grown men, being able to have a drink and a laugh at the same time is perfect. That is. It also, I suppose, in a way, if people are a little bit nervous, you go have a pint, relax, and then you've got that little bit of a social aspect that you can all have a chat as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little club to go to. There's people there. There's some people that play proper, like every weekend they're at tournaments and stuff, and in the leagues. And there's other people that have probably been in it involved longer than me, especially with playing. And it's not like, oh, this one person doesn't know as much as the other, and they just get tabled. They're actually going, well, you know, oh, you've got this, you could do that.
Yeah.
And help, like explaining and helping.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit more enjoyable for the person that doesn't know what they're doing as much as.
Yeah. I suppose as well, they want you to come back, don't they? So there's no point bullying you and making you feel like you know nothing and, you know, arm around you, right, let's do this. You know, it's perfect. It's what you want to hear going on, rather than, like you say, you turn up, you don't quite know, someone's just going to steamroll you for their own individual enjoyment. Yeah,
because I mean, this weekend they are doing an apocalypse game.
Oh shit! Okay.
So it starts. It's like the club usually runs from like 6 to 11. I think this Saturday it's running from 2 to 11 because obviously it's a big game. It's 3v3, and it's 3,000 points each person. So it's a fucking big game.
Get yourself down and have a look at that. That will probably last longer than the 2 till 11, but that will be worth watching.
I'm hoping there's because there's, you know, Titans and a lot of tanks. There'll be a lot of it. Does it blow up? Will stuff blow up and just accidentally kill other stuff? You know, it should be a good laugh to watch. Some shenanigans going there, especially because these people that are playing it are more. They know the rules better. Yeah. It could get extremely funny because I'm pretty sure they're all doing it just for the shits and giggles of it, not as in this is a tournament idea and like we've got I mean, everyone wants to win, but it'll be, can we win in the funniest of ways?
That would be worth watching. Get some pictures and chuck it up online because that would be worth having a watch. That sounds quality. So obviously, other stuff that we ask with respect to like your painting, your playing, and everything. Are you purely 40k, or have you dabbled in anything else?
There's gonna be a point where I'm gonna run out of 40k stuff that I want to paint.
Yeah.
I've looked into. I've got a half painted Necromunda gang, which I don't know. I suppose I really need to finish off. But I'd like to be able to have a game at that, but there's no one locally that plays it, to my knowledge.
Okay.
I've looked at some heresy stuff, and yeah, I'm probably going to paint some heresy stuff. But other than that, I really want to paint a Gundam thing.
Okay.
I really want to do a Gundam because them things are awesome. Like that just reminds me of old like anime manga stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, some sort of I can't remember. There's one model that I've seen a few times. You know, great big thing, sword and a big gun arm. You look at those, that's fucking cool as fucking anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I have bought another game. I bought a game at what was it the other week at Salute?
Okay.
Carnival.
Yes, yeah, I know Carnival, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so I bought the starter set with that. I've had me and my daughter have played a game, but it's the same thing when I was trying to learn Kill Team. When you read the instructions, you don't actually know how to start the game.
yeah.
And I was like reading the books, reading rules, and looking on YouTube for things. Like without physically someone giving you an introduction game, it's not as easy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got like 8 models of that I'm going to paint. Now it's the same sort of thing, but you know these are more. They're all human looking.
Yeah, it's sort of like Venice, what I can't remember the period they call it, but it's all like fancy Venetian dress and all of that sort of Renaissance.
Yeah, and because I speak to someone quite a lot. I've done since I've been doing this. I have spoke to him prior to that because he comes from the same sort of thing background as me with graffiti.
Yeah,
I'm not actually even sure where he lives. I think it's Bristol or somewhere. I can't remember. But he was like, he was telling me, he said, I'm going to have an introductory game with this. He was like, yeah, he said, there's a really strange mechanic where you can drown people. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, and you can pull people into the water and you can drown them. Yeah, I don't think there's any drowning mechanics in Warhammer or any kind where you just submerge you in the water and drown you. You know, a melee water fight.
there's something they're missing. So actually, you've mentioned Salute. How'd you find it?
Yeah, it's all right. I've been the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Me and one of my daughters go because she's quite into painting.
Mm-hmm.
We bought her the Eldari Combat Patrol for her birthday by December. She likes the building and all that. She's only fully painted one model as of yet, but she's built like 90% of them and they're all primed up, ready to go. But she has painted a lot of other stuff. But say she likes to go. She bought some stuff from Rogue Hobbies when we were there.
Yep.
Some little figures she quite like. But yeah, we'd be very good. We like to get there when it opens.
Yeah.
Because other than that, is once you do 3 laps of it and it's like 12, 1 o'clock, like I want to get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't do well in large crowds for longer than a football game.
No, fair enough.
And I want to be out of there because I think I did plan to try and meet people there this time, but I don't think. One of them was Ollie from Blackheart Minis.
Yeah.
I've been speaking to him since I got back into it. It was about the same sort of time he did, but obviously he's doing stuff there for content, and I didn't come across him. And another guy I speak to is Ryan, Itty Bitty Painter.
Okay. Yep.
And I've tried to meet up with him at a couple of places, but I think where I'm there early and leave early, he possibly gets there late.
Yeah.
And it's only to the end. So I've never managed to meet people there. But yeah, especially with Salou, it opens your eyes to how many other different types of games there are and like systems and stuff. Because you're walking around looking at the models and you're quite interested in the Trench Crusade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at that, so they look cool because that reminds me of like Dark Souls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I love them games, especially Bloodborne. I'm looking at it going, yeah. And then you find out there is actually like a Bloodborne game, the Dark Souls ones, which you can't really get hold of. And if you try and look up the miniatures for them, it's like Alibaba. You know, I'm not buying stuff. And like, it will take 6 weeks to get here, and it'll probably after you like smash to pieces.
Yeah. It's you are right. I think I've said on here before about Salute. It's nice to go to, but you do a couple of laps of it, and it's just like, okay, I've seen what I need to see now. Why would I hang around here more than I need to? You know,
Yeah,
it's nice to go. It is nice to try and see people and talk to them. But then at the same time, it's once you've done it, haven't you?
yeah, and the only other problem with it is as you walk around, it's the smell of the place. Well, not with the
Yeah.
place of as you walk, because you're walking around and there's a strong smell of coffee, and it's it's a bit BO-y around here, and then it smells a bit pissy here, and then like it's so, and then you just walk around. It's because it's obviously I'm not trying to slag people off, but some people just they're not a bit stinky, and you won't even be kids. It smells a bit funny. I was like, we'll just keep walking. We'll come back to this one later.
Yeah,
Because it gets hot in there because there's so many people.
It does. Like, but I think I missed this year's, but the last two I've been to, it gets to a point where you are roasted in there. And I don't. Fair plays to the guys who set up and have their stalls and are standing there all day, because it is a long old day for them. Yeah. And then, like you say, you've got to put up with the random smells wafting through the air. You get people coming along picking up their stuff with like greasy hands, putting it back down. They don't want it, and yeah, you're right, mate. It should be sponsored by Right Guard, but I don't think Salute would go for that. The London Warlords or whatever they call themselves. So, but yeah,
it's good fun now.
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen our shows before, you know when I've attended, I'm usually pissed off my brains. So if you ever see me at one and I haven't got a clue what's going on, I'm probably drunk. Don't worry.
Yeah. I reckon if I went in there drunk, I'd probably spend more money than I did anyway.
Well, that's the other good thing, because I go there drunk. I've spent my money on booze already, so I can't spend anything. It's a double-edged sword, so it's handy for that. You mentioned obviously your kids painting and getting into it all as well. If you don't mind me asking, how old are they?
So my eldest is 15. She'll be 16 on Friday.
Oh, wow.
She's had painted a few bits. She's not. I mean, she's 16. She's not overly interested in it, like painting, but she likes to look at the stuff and like, oh, that looks cool and whatnot. My middle child, she's 13. She's the one that's actually got more invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told like at the end of every month, she's like, "What's the minute of the month this month?" Like, and so is my youngest. She's only 11. She just turned 11. She doesn't mind the painting. She likes basing. Which is really weird. She just likes to she'll build the model, she'll glue them together, I'll prime it for her. She goes, yeah, I want to base this one, and she'll just do the base. Like she'll get some little scenery, she'll do the basing, and it goes in a tin. She's got a tin of about 30 little models. 5 or 6 of them are painted, and about 15 of them have just had the bases done. Stones and bits of grass on it, and like you can paint it now.
So somewhere between the four of you, you've got your ideal. You could almost set up a painting company. One of you does the paints, one of you builds, one of your paints, production line it.
Yeah, I mean, I've even got my wife's painted a few now as well. She quite likes the Skaven, like the rats from AOS.
Yeah.
I think I bought a box of rats. I bought a box of them, and we all painted them like a little family paint night.
Oh, that's it.
A couple of months ago, I went down to Wayland Games, with the one that opened up near me. Yeah. And I bought, I don't know what ones they are, what they're called. It's AOS, I don't know the names of anything in it. But they're like priest rats, little monk rats.
Oh, yeah. I think I know the ones you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and I bought them. I mean, the kids have painted some of them. I don't think my wife's painted one of them, but she's painted a few. But it's the thing is, trying to get everyone to sit down and do it.
Yeah,
it's so hard because someone wants to do this and someone wants to do that, and so my eldest is at this point now, she's getting ready for her GCSEs.
Yeah.
So at the moment, she's doing a lot of revision and stuff. My youngest is about to go into senior school, so she's still trying to be a bit of a kid.
Yeah.
Before you go the first grow up stage.
Don't do that, Dad. I'm too cool for that now. I've got all of that stuff. But it is really nice though to hear that you've had like family sessions Because I've often wondered, like myself, like my lad will try and paint some bits. I've tried to talk my wife into it, but she's just not up for it. But it is like a really good family activity, and I don't think it's something that not just Games Workshop Warhammer, but a lot of companies don't really sort of jump into that and be like, look, you can do this as an activity for all of you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's when you're especially when you're doing that situation where there's more than, or say it's just not just you doing it on your own.
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, when there's a few of you doing it, it's a lot more enjoyable to paint in that sort of sense, because especially if you're all painting the same sort of model, and you're going, oh look, well I did that bit on mine that colour, and I've made mine look like this. Especially when we did the Skaven, one of the kids was like, I made the shield look like a slice of pizza because it was a triangle, and everyone's gone, oh, my one just painted it like wood, but yeah, I painted mine like pizza. Mine's yellow with some red dots on it, pepperoni.
I love that. I love that. It's just the different sense, the different bits of imagination you can get popping off and you're bouncing off each other. It's quality. I do feel that, like I say, it's something that the companies miss out on sort of targeting as a family thing to do, because like you get your kids sitting down gaming with you as well. Perfect night.
Yeah.
But I suppose when, like you say, with the age ranges you've got, if your eldest is going for the GCSEs, you don't want to be like your dad walking along, hey, put the book down, do you want to roll some dice? You're like, no, I want to. Yeah, so I get that. It can be a bit of a weird one, but it's still lovely to hear that you've got it nailed as an activity for all of you.
Yeah, it's something I like to get to do again. I suppose it's easier to do in the winter.
Yeah.
Possibly. It gets darker earlier, you know, it's miserable outside. Yeah, I'll just pull the table out and we'll have a little paint up.
So I have got a question. Well, obviously I've got lots of questions, but you mentioned obviously you're West Ham Marine. Do you know, football-wise, football question, what is the nickname of Blackpool?
I have no idea.
Right, well, they are the tangerines. Now, a tangerine is a type of orange, and we are sponsored by Orange Brushes. I love that. I've segued that somehow. Code Inquisition at checkout, 10% off, free UK shipping. They're good to us, so we will always plug them.
Yeah. Use the code. Orange Brushes are good brushes. I use them as well. Spot
on. There you go. You can't. I haven't prompted him to say that. You know, it's just God's honest review.
I bought a set just over a year ago. My 1 is still in good nick. My 0 is still in good nick. My 00 needs to be replaced. It's falling to pieces.
That's just a sign of use.
Overuse. It was the main brush I was going to, and now then it was my rivet brush, just trying to do rivets, and now you put load paint up on it. The paint doesn't come back off the brush. The brush doesn't hold it anymore, so that's out the window. So I need to get another 00.
Like I say, that is a sign of good use, though. Do not take that as a review, then, Ishai.
I have no affiliate link to them or nothing. I used them because I was using synthetic brushes, and they seemed at that point when I first come across them, for what you were paying, and what you got, I was like, that's cheaper than anything else you can buy. Why not give them a go? And
exactly.
I bought them, and I've never stopped using them.
There we go. You know, honest reviews is what we're about.
I bought them, and not long after that, I bought an Artist Opus brush.
Yeah.
And I still haven't used that. It's still just sitting there. I've not used it because I've had no need to not use the brushes I've been using. Oh, hold on a minute. I've got to get rid of this cat. He keeps whacking me on the back. Wait, James, come here. Right,
there we go.
Oh, in the corner.
So we've reached the halfway point in the show, and like you say, you've caught us a few times, so you know by now this is where we go away from the hobbying for a bit, and we chat about you, Les. We try and find out what makes you tick, what else you're into. So I'll start off Anytime we have a guest that's into football, I'll always jump on that. So we'll jump on that first. We'll get that bit out of the way. West Ham, you're born and bred?
Yeah, more or less so. I was born in Dagenham, or born in Barking, lived in Dagenham, and sort of moved around that local area almost for, my 40 odd years of life. So, my father-in-law's a season ticket holder. My oldest daughter's got a season ticket there with him. Whenever someone can't go, hopefully the spare ticket comes my way.
It's just, you might as well. Why not?
Yeah, hard to get to by train.
Obviously, though, your form's not been great at the minute. You've had a good run, a couple of results. Like you got the draw against us, you won on the weekend, but you're still in the mire a bit, and especially against the Spuds. So, how do you fancy your chances?
So I suppose it's some of the games. I mean, we're away at Brentford next weekend. They lost to Man United the other night.
Yeah.
I've always looked at this. Teams like Brentford, it should be a draw away, a win at home. Teams more, say, like the Arsenals, Man City, Man U, Chelsea's, whatnot, it should be a draw at home, expect to lose away.
Yeah.
I'm hoping because of them sort of keep falling off a bit of a recent and the little bit of resurgence we've had, that we might scrape another win again this weekend. Hopefully. Hope we've got a game against Arsenal. I hope by then they're in full bottle job mode, and we get a nice little win now. The only game of Leeds is a dodgy one because they technically can still be relegated. If everyone underneath them wins and they lose every game, they can still drop. I was hoping that once they beat us in the FA Cup, that their focus would have been in that, and the games after that they would have sort of not been interested in, which they were interested in because they won them. But the big one I got is Newcastle. I do not like Newcastle, especially going up. If it doesn't matter home or away, it's always a horrible game. But then I always say the two teams I never like playing is Newcastle and Everton because we never seem to win. And we did on Saturday, which was nice for once. But it's the same thing with playing the Arsenal, hoping they bottle it. I hope the Spurs. I don't know. I just hope that maybe their knees give way a bit and they keep on being a bit shaky.
Yeah, I think this weekend gone was quality because everyone down the bottom. I mean, obviously Leeds weren't playing apart from the cup. But everyone down the bottom won, so it does keep a good bit of pressure on them. Puts, unfortunately, a little bit of pressure back on Palace because it's like, oh shit, hang on, we've got to pick up points now. But it's a weird one to see.
No, we played you just recently, didn't we?
Yeah, 0-0.
Yeah.
That was a good game, though. I was there for that, and I thought you guys played decent enough. It was one of them ones that, you know what games like between us are like. It can go one way or the other quite easily. And I think there was a statistic saying that it's the first time it's been a 0-0 in like over 30 or 40 games between us. Something mad like that. So I think it was a great point away for you. And like you say, it's that little bit of a resurgence and a bit of confidence going back into you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, after we won that European trophy, I suppose everyone was thinking, oh, look, they're going to, be a bit more of a mid-table club and maybe start pushing up. And no, we just try not to sink. But I mean, it's been a couple of years and we're still in that point. But then the same thing's happened to Tottenham. They won that European trophy and then they've been struggling since.
Yeah. It's this. I think a Forest fan said it to me once a while ago in a pub that there seems to be this. We've all sort of sold our souls a little bit for it, haven't we? Like you've had the glory of winning the conference. We could possibly do it. Spurs won the Europa and bottled the Champions League spectacularly. Forest in Europa. It just feels like we are teams that shouldn't quite be there, and getting there is, although it's great, at the same time, it's like we're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, because when you especially look at Europe now, we guaranteed one English team in the final because you
Yeah.
got, is it Villa Forest?
Villa Forest, yeah.
Yeah, and then with the other two, we could actually, if we could end up with three teams, one in each final, and then you think, oh look, we at least English teams guaranteed one trophy. Well, no, you're not guaranteed nothing. Even if you guarantee one team in the final, because
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say watching football for years, the amount of times I have seen an English, I still remember. A lot of my mates are Arsenal fans. In the Champions League final, going to the pub to watch them play Barcelona and losing it right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And how many times you've seen an English club get to the final? Same thing with England, and then fall at the last hurdle.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of, I think someone called it the English disease a little bit, but at the same time, we wouldn't have it anyway, would we? We'd love it. We're suckers for it. But fingers crossed. Like I say, I reckon you guys will stay up. I reckon Spurs probably go. I've got my fingers crossed for it because I would much rather West Ham stay up than Spurs or Forest.
I hope that Spurs go down, not because I want them to go down, just because I think if they do go down, the Championship next year will probably be the best league in Europe. Yes. Because even though they'll lose some of their first team players they have now, the kids that they have got in the training, they should be going there and, possibly like losing one, drawing two, winning the rest of the games, having a ridiculous goal difference, like over like 110 plus on goals or something, like just demolish the league, ridiculous. It'd be more exciting.
And as well, you've got the added bonus that I think there's been a couple of seasons now that one of the teams that gets relegated from the Prem to the Championship has been relegated into League One. I'm not saying it'll probably happen to them, but
no, because Leicester have just gone down, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
The league is not that many years ago.
No, 10 years ago, I was reading something. That feels insane. But
10, I would have said 6 or 7 maybe, but 10 fucking young.
We're getting old, mate.
Who's won the league since then? Just City and Liverpool.
City, Liverpool. Yeah. Chelsea won it the season after Leicester won it. And then it's just been City and Liverpool really since, which is kind of depressing when you think about it. Like, at least, like you say, you look at the Championship, Lincoln coming up to the Championship, I think is amazing. Some of the teams that are getting promoted now from the lower leagues, Bromley coming up from League 2 to League 1, York going back into the Football League. It feels like there's big changes down below, but the top league's just stagnant.
Yeah, we could have we are. I fully believe they will do it, but having Millwall in the Premier League next year.
Oh, don't say that out loud. I hate it.
It's gonna. I can see it happening now. I don't know if they're second or third, but I don't. I watched the game they played against Middlesbrough the other week.
Yeah,
and I think it was a draw in the end. I can't remember, but I reckon going, this is a team that looks like they want to go up. Not just that they want to, that they have a desire that it's like, it's been enough time now. We need a crack at it.
Yeah. I always remember, I think I might have said it to you in a message, but Palace's first season back in the Prem, 2013, I was at the Boleyn Ground, and for about 20 minutes, our end and your end were just shouting, "We hate Millwall more than you." And it was such a wicked away day because, like, I can't remember the result, but it was just purely for the sake of, let's just have a party. And a lot of us were just, like, cracking across each other. It was great. That was a wicked period.
So I don't go to a lot of games.
Yeah.
Especially now since I've had kids. I only ever go if there's a spare season ticket flying around. But I did a lot before I had kids. But the games I always enjoyed at home was when we always played Charlton. Which was just the like you say, the bullshit chanting that went on.
Yeah.
So I remember the point where Alan Kirbishley and Alan Pardew, like literally the managers just swapped teams.
Yeah, they did.
I can't remember if they were both at the opposite team at the same time, but I just remembered, yeah, it was just like something like, you know, we've both got shit managers, why don't we give them a chance, or something was going on. It was just like...
There is that sense of irony between teams like ours, isn't there, and some of our chants. Like, we'll give it that we started chanting at the start of the Conference League, we're going to Leipzig, and all of a sudden we're in the semi-final thinking, oh shit, we might. But it's what we enjoy about our teams, isn't it?
Yeah. It's because I mean, like you say, yeah, West Ham are my team, but I grew up with football when I was a kid, waking up on a Sunday morning, watching Transworld Sport,
yes,
the NFL, and then Football Italia on Channel 4.
Yeah.
And my first team I supported technically was Fiorentina, because purple was my favourite colour.
Purple kit.
I've still got a Batistuta shirt somewhere over there. Like, I've got a Luca Toni shirt as well.
I was on Fiorentina as well. They were, back in the day, they had the Nintendo kit, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that was Batistuta running around in the midfield wearing that. Oliveira up front, mustard.
Rui Costa and all.
Yeah.
Same time, yeah, they had some great players. But because I think they were in 3 Europa League finals, one after the other. And obviously one of them was against us. And I remember going around my mate's house to watch him. My mate was like, oh, you want West Ham to win? I went, mate, I've already won. I went, why? Because they're both my teams. I've already won this game. It makes no difference to me. And then the next year, I was on holiday. It was in, I can't remember what it was. But I was dying this holiday result. Can anyone get the football on? Why? Because I want to watch Fiorentina play Olympiacos. Couldn't get it on. They fucking lost 3-0 or something. I was like, yeah, fucking. But then I always look at them, and they're like the West Ham of Italy.
Yeah.
Because if you look at they're higher up in the table, but they're on maybe the same sort of games won, games lost, games won, and points. It's just there's a lot. It's not as close out there, even though Fiorentina probably spent more time in the relegation zone this season than West Ham have. And after Christmas, they pulled it out and got up the league.
Yeah. It was funny because when we got to the conference, the one team I wanted us to play for the same reason was Fiorentina. And when we got them in the quarters, I was buzzing. Sure, it's not the same team back at all, but it was just in my head, like you're saying, that 8-year-old that would wake up and watch Football Italia on a Sunday morning, he was in there screaming, it's like, it's happened, it's finally fucking happened.
Yeah.
But it's a dream fixture, I think, the best way to do it. Is kids these days are spoiled. They didn't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch Transworld Sport to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I used to remember, lucky, I watched Transworld Sport in there with things like skiing, which I had no interest, but then if you were lucky, they might have tractor pulling.
Yeah.
And when they were the dirt bikes and stuff up the steep muddy hills, just like random sports somewhere in Eastern Europe, you're going, this is mad. Like, I love to watch this full on.
It was, I'll tell you, the weird one that stuck with me was an Indian sport called kabaddi, where they're just throwing a ball around and shouting and slapping each other in the back and shit.
Like the beach ball.
Yeah.
Sort of they play that in Florence as well.
Oh shit! Yes, that's the big one where they divide the teams, the city into 4, isn't it? And
or something like that. Yeah, there's like 40 people on the pitch, and it's just like they're just punching each other in the head and stuff. You're like, what is the rule? The ball just has to touch the back fence. You're like, who's keeping score?
That was on a Netflix documentary. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to have a look for it, and I'll send you the name. But they actually went around with one of the teams filming them on the build up to the game, and they were like doing MMA training, they were doing jiu-jitsu, they were proper going for it. It's like, but you're just throwing a ball at again. What are you doing?
Yeah, and they're all half cut.
Yeah.
4 pints beforehand, 2 at half time. Couple of fags.
It's just Italians. You've got to love them.
Yeah. I love ice hockey as well. I spent years watching the team in Romford play.
I was going to say yeah, because I know Romford have got a team. Like just before I left London, my cousins were getting me into it because they all follow Streatham, and Peterborough got a team up here, and I go and watch them every now and again. It's quality. I think people sleep on ice hockey as a game. It is one of the better American sports.
Yeah, it's 3 15-minute periods.
Yeah.
There's a nice gap in there. Like, say, where there's the team that plays in Romford, which Romford Raiders. I don't actually think that's their proper name, but that's what people still call them. But so you can buy a beer and sit there and watch it, and like everyone's done the same thing. Everyone's thinking at least there's going to be one fight in this. Someone's going to have a fight.
Yeah,
because it's like everyone loves a bit of violence in sport, especially ice hockey, because it's like it's a fair fight. Oh, what happens? I remember telling my kids, what happens? Well, if he's going to kick on as a fight, two people have to fight. What happens? Well, once someone hits the floor, fight's over. What happens? If you fall over, you can't play for 2 minutes. What happens to the other guy? Well, you can't play for 5, so you get more punishment for winning. It's like you don't want to win. No, you do want to win. It's like a badge of honour for them.
Yeah, I went to a game with my cousins and watched Streatham, and the next time I went, I took my wife and my son with me. I was like, come on, we'll all go, because my cousins go with like all of their family. I took my mum and dad with us, and it was just like a nice family day out. But didn't realise it was Streatham's big derby game. I think it's against a team over in Chatham or Medway or somewhere. And the game got called off after the first period because the end of it just erupted into a riot. There was one of the other team's players used the hockey stick like a fucking axe.
Oh, shit.
It went off. Like the second period was going to start. Streatham had come out, and for 5 minutes, everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then the other team just refused to come out because they feared for their safety. And you're like, "What?" And I didn't realise this, but then the way that the lowest leagues in ice hockey work, you play your home fixture against the team, and then the next day you play your away fixture against them. So Streatham ended up having to go away anyway to the next day to the people that were too scared to come out and play them. It's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
But,
it's a mad sport. I mean, I was quite interested because Petr Cech,
yeah,
he ended up, I think he was playing in goal for Chelmsford.
he was.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if they were in different leagues compared to Robert in a different league. I was like, I would love to have seen like Petr Cech turn up in Romford and playing goal for Chelmsford, but he's in the wrong league. And I was like, it won't happen. But I don't think he was there that long.
He wasn't. But that's still like like I was saying earlier, interchangeable skills. Goalkeeping, easy enough to swap over to a different sport.
Yeah, pair of gloves. Just now you got a stick.
So the other thing that we've talked about before, and I feel it's worth talking on the stream, is music. I think that was one of the things that we proper started talking about together. Obviously, big love for a lot of like pirate radio stuff, the old grime, the old dubstep garage, and all of that. How did you just obviously, because I know we've talked about it, but for anyone listening, how did you get into all of that?
I've always liked music as from a small child. Like I used to, when I was a little kid, I used to pull my dad's records out and play and put headphones on, and I would, stuff like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I was a big fan of like the Sex Pistols, X-Ray Specs, the Clash, stuff like that when I was a kid. When my dad bought me, I don't know if he bought it for me or he just bought it, but I've still got it. The Beastie Boys' first album on vinyl.
Oh, nice.
License to Ill. I've still got that, and then from there on, I got more into hip hop, and then I suppose it was just I was at the right age when it wasn't even when Incredible by General Levy came out. It would probably been a little bit before that someone had some sort of like this is Jungle or something CDs. This is pretty fucking cool, right? Up tempo and then I just never really stopped listening to it. But it wasn't like as I got more into one form of music, I didn't get out of another form of music.
Yeah,
like I always. So when I was, especially growing up in the 90s, I would buy CDs and whatnot. I'd go to my local record shop. I'd be buying drum and bass vinyl. I've still got a set of decks and a mixer. I mean, I sold 90% of my records a good few years ago. Right, I was going to try and sell them as a job lot, but people were like, "Oh yeah, can you give us a list?" I'm like, "There's like 600 records here. I'm not writing a list." I had one guy came round, he picked through it. I probably sold him 10, 12 records and probably got about 100 quid out of him. And I sold the rest of them to a job lot from a guy in Preston. He drove down his transit van with his missus, Preston to London, to buy these records off me. The only reason he got away with buying them because his missus' friend was coming up from London that day, and they were like, "Oh, we'll pick you up as long as I can buy these records." And I remember getting mission going, "I'm really sorry, mate, like we're stuck in traffic." And I think I sold like 400 quid. I just sold the rest of them, but then I've kept stuff that I didn't want to sell. Like I've got I've mentioned it before, kid I used to go to school with is Logan D, Mickey Finn's son. To buy. His old man used to send records around his house, ones he didn't want, or multiple copies of the same record. He would get all the white labels, and I've got a pile of white labels sitting here that you know. I've got a bootleg I think it's Groove Rider record that never got released because he got a cease and desist. But I've got a bootleg copy of that. It's I think it's Brian McKnight. It's the old R&B singer. It's one of his records. I've got like the Chopper Shy FX song. I've got The Message, but mine's not the actual release. It's a one-sided 12-inch dub plate. And I've got like a few records like that still sitting around. But at the same time, got really into hip-hop, Cypress Hill, Wu-Tang Clan. Like, I remember being a bit of a dickhead kid one day on the bus, listening to Wu-Tang Clan with my earphones in, not thinking about it, rapping along. Probably said a word I shouldn't have.
Yep.
That guy's, I was sorry, mate. Like, what? I said, I was sorry. I said, no, mate, I was just listening to this. And he's like, what are you listening to? I give him the earphone. He went, you like Woo? I was like, yeah. He went, no, you're cool. And I was like, I could have got a slap in the head. Ever since then, been a bit more careful of not actually thinking about or stop singing along. But at the same time, say, growing up listening to like old rock and punk, got really into like metal, especially new metal in the early mid-90s. And because I remember one day, it was probably like late 90s, early 2000s, one morning going down the local record shop, buying a load of drum and bass records, and then that night going and getting my head kicked in at a Korn concert. Like, no one I knew would listen to one or the other. No one was listening to everything. Other people listened to drum and bass, or they were listening to garage, or they were listening to metal, I was listening to all of it. Yeah. And I still do. I mean, it's to the point now where I'm sort of stuck in my own little time bubble of music. It probably goes from like 94 to like 2004 of metal, hip hop, and drum and bass with a nice little splash of the 80s stuff I remember as a kid. Yeah. Because I still love the 80s stuff. Like, as cheesy as it is now, it's great.
Yeah. What's mad is that it's funny because I'm exactly the same. Like, my playlists that I've got on repeat are usually the 80s one, jungle one, and drum and bass. Like, it's pretty like for like, I would say, with what you've just described. But much like you said, when I was growing up, I remember my parents would listen to anything. Like, my mum would just sit there listening to reggae. My dad would break out like Beatles, Stones, all this old 60s stuff. And what was weird, I remember driving around with my dad. He used to listen to Capital Gold on the radio, which in the 90s used to play 50s, 60s, and 70s. If that was still around now, we're talking 30 years, that would be playing like 80s, 90s, and 2000s music, which makes me sick when I say that out loud and think about it. It's obscene. But it's nice that, like, you don't pigeonhole. Because I think we talked about this as well. Like, when people, especially with like the Warhammer stuff, it tends to attract a lot of like metalheads, I would say, which is fair. But you do get people like us out there that will listen to anything. He was in the chat earlier, Warpgate Studios. He's been on drum and bass as well. There's a lot of us out there that dabble with this stuff that you wouldn't expect us to sort of listen to the stuff that we listen to or watch the stuff that we watch. We're not sort of atypical 40k people.
Genre, yeah. So everyone, the genre of music that sort of goes. I understand why people look at, especially with Warhammer. Oh, you probably listen to Iron Maiden and stuff like that. But yeah, I suppose it comes with the territory because it's the same thing. If you look at people that like history, especially like war stuff in history, you would expect them to be listening to like rock, hard rock, or some sort of metal. You wouldn't expect someone that likes 1800s British war history to be listening to Lethal Bizzle. it doesn't fit together.
You've pretty much described my history A level there. That everyone doing history in A level was listening to like early grime, late garage. It was just such a weird class. Like our teachers sitting down talking about Napoleon trying to get through the Alps, and everyone's like, "Have you heard Lethal Bizzle?" You're like, "What the fuck's going on?" But I suppose it's that little bit of an inner London thing, isn't it? But
yeah.
So actually, another thing I wanted to ask before we go into the usual off-topic questions. You mentioned your graffitiing. What was it that you used to enjoy about that?
No, I've always liked art and drawing and painting. And I suppose when I went to senior school, there was especially in Dagenham, there was a few people that were, especially in that sort of scene, because you go back to like what you have now with like postcode wars and stuff like that, especially with the grime and all that. You had crew wars.
Yeah.
So there'd be a couple of crews in south, a couple of crews in west, a couple of crews in north, a couple of crews in east, and each one would have a couple of people in it that were overly good at doing it.
Yeah.
And luckily, where I was from in Dagenham, there was quite a lot of people that were overly good at doing it, and especially there were some kids in my year that had older brothers that were into it, and they knew some of these people that were rather good at it. I mean, since then, since COVID, I've met a couple of these people that, when I was a kid, everyone was like, "Fuck me, this is what these people are doing with like some nick cans of paint out of Halfords. It's fucking mental." And I've, they're just now, early 50s. They're just doing it for the shits and giggles. I suppose back then it was a sort of rebellious thing. It was like, go out and vandalise. I wasn't one of these people like I never got arrested for doing any of it, which was lucky. I always had a bit of sense about me.
Yeah.
But it was the same sort of writing my name on something. It was every kid does it without intention. I was here, I was here on a tree or a park bench. It's like, well, I'm going to do that in this big pen, which is like got a 15mm nib on it, in permanent markering, and I can do this 10 times the start size on this bus stop window or on this green phone box, on the back of a phone box. And then from there, it's like, we get some paint, and then you try and replicate it as you would on paper and a drawing, and then it grew from there.
Yeah.
And then, so as I left school, I didn't grow out of it. I grew out of the going out and pursuing it, but I never stopped drawing. And it wasn't until one of my eldest kid was born, I got back in contact with somebody to do it from school. Now, I would probably say, when you look at the people that do it in this country, he's in the top echelon of them people now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his name is Ecto. It's Ecto1 on Instagram. You look at his stuff, it's fucking mental. Another one of my friends, Stir. Like, you go on their Instagram stuff, the stuff they're doing is mental. They now, in the Southend, run what's called the Southend City Jam. Okay. It's like a free-day event in Southend. Southend Council are fully on board with it. They put up boards everywhere, like down the high street, in a park. And I painted there a couple of years ago one time, but I remember walking around, and there's like people from America, Mexico, all over Europe and all that coming over there because we know about this thing. We want to go and do it. And like, it's the same sort of thing. I think possibly with Warhammer, Instagram had a thing with its revival.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people, especially I got on Instagram when it first sort of became available, when it was still a new concept, and to go on there, and I remember, I painted with people from each corner of London, not just like north east, south west, but then south east, south west, north east, north, the whole lot. And it was like a fingers of Instagram that those people of my age, they had young kids and all that, and it was like, I need to get away on the Sunday because I'm doing her already, and like, I need to go out, and people get in contact with each other and go out and do it again. And it was, I don't really paint anymore. I don't know if I ever want to again.
Yeah.
It's just, last couple of years, I've had problems with my hands. I've had carpal tunnel and trigger finger in both my hands. So end of 2024, I had an operation on my left hand to do 2 fingers. Then 2025, I had an operation on my right hand to do 2 fingers. I've got to have another operation on my right hand to redo 1 finger. Possibly have a new finger done on that. Possibly an operation on one of my fingers on my left hand again because it's not quite fixed. Still got clicking and a bit of pain in it, which is fucking a nuisance.
Yeah.
Especially with colder weather, my hands don't like to work. But yeah, because of that, I can still do it. It just becomes more difficult to actually do anymore. But then it's just as you get older, my legs hurt, my knees hurt. I've probably got arthritis in my knees. I'm climbing over fences as you're doing a kid because you didn't have the internet. You had to entertain yourself.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
It's crazy though, isn't it? It's like in the last couple of years, like you say, since lockdown, it has sort of blown up again. Because I remember where I used to live in South Penge, there was this old car park, and the top 2 levels of it were always closed off. You weren't able to get up there at all. They just sealed it off. No reason given. You just weren't able to get up there. And eventually they, like the local business community had loads of people contacting them because there was just graffiti everywhere. And they're like, people need a space to do it. So the people that run this car park were like, fuck it, open their gallery. And like you say, they get people from all over the world coming to it. And some of it looks absolutely outstanding. Like the quality of stuff you're seeing on there. Because like you said, when we were kids, it was just, look, all these tags. Like some of them still look mustard. But the quality of what people are putting out now is insane. And there was like this one guy who was prolific in Penge. I think he's on Insta as Madcap Sprays or something, Cap Sprays. I'll send you a link to him. But he was going around all this area doing computer game characters as like Neon Glow. And like he done Sonic, Knuckles, Tails on different walls. And it just looked quality and the kids loved it. And then they opened this gallery up and it just made it more accessible.
Yeah, I've got a mate. I'm not sure if he's from like that area, but I know he's painted a lot. He paints like birds.
I think I've seen this guy. Yeah,
Aspire. He paints like 15-foot birds. A good friend of mine, like, and you look at it, you go, it looks like a photograph technically.
Yes.
So it's like with little bits in it. It's like mad. But yeah, so when I was a kid, you looked like no one thought of doing that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, in that sort of community, you get the die-hard realists that are just about the pure vandalism of it and, painting trains or getting to places where you look at, because sometimes you look at something, how the fuck did you get up there and do that?
Yeah.
And then you get other people that are in it more for the artistic value and how far you can technically use a spray can and do that with it.
Yeah. It is like you say, those birds. I remember, I think there was one of a robin, and it looked like a giant photo. It was ridiculous. The quality of it was outstanding, and I was always amazed by it. It's just, I'm always blown away by how artistic people can be, especially when they are just using spray cans.
Yeah,
like it's absolutely insane to me. And more, again, like I said earlier, like more power to them. And it's another creative outlet. And I think it's probably better nowadays that councils and places that will let you do it. as opposed to 20, 30 years ago. You did it and you get banged up, you get a community fucking order against you, you get a fine.
Um,
It's crazy, but it is good that so many people, I think, are open to it nowadays.
yeah, I must say I've got a friend that works for a company in London, and that is what they do. They
Well,
do
okay.
like, what's at the legal side of things. They, I remember where their office is in so like Old Street Way.
Yeah,
There's a big like when you come out of the like by their sort of loading bay. There's the wall of the building next to them. I remember they constantly use that wall for advertising for companies. I remember they did the Diablo game, the last one that came
mm.
out. What they used for like one of their posters was actually painted on this wall.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, like, did you do it? He said, yeah, I'll do the background. But there's so many people that work for them, and it's just so like I do jobs all over the country. I had another mate of mine that did a commission job somewhere in London for OnlyFans. And it was just sort of like the logo on the wall, nothing more than that, because, but it was how, which sort of companies would think, oh, we want this, but we don't just want someone to print a poster out and slap it somewhere. We
Yeah,
want something that's a little bit more creatively done.
something that stands out that little bit more and makes it a bit more memorable, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
it's not just someone slapping it, you can film it being done. It's
Yeah.
content, because everything now has to be some form of content. It's not just a photo or a little 30-second video. You want to, especially as a company, milk something for as long as you can.
Well, I think OnlyFans do that very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go through our rapid fire ones, and then we'll get back onto hobbying because we've been going a little while now. We're getting good. So with respect to our rapid fire ones, diving straight in, what is your crisp of choice?
What's it? Or Cheetos.
Cheesy stuff.
Yeah. Corn snacks, I suppose it's the thing. More like that. What's it and Cheetos are my favourite ones.
I like how quick you were with that. You're very assertive because a lot of people take a bit of time to answer that one. So you're munching on your what's it. What are you drinking to wash them down with?
Scotch.
Any specific brand, or are you just quite happy with anything?
Not really for a specific brand. I mean, if you drink something too much of one, you either don't like the taste of it or it doesn't agree with you anymore. I spent years of drinking Jack Daniels. I can't touch the stuff anymore. Gives me gut ache. But yeah, any kind of Scotch, whether it's Scotch or whiskey, single malt, cheap stuff. Like I want to say cheap stuff. It's not cheap, but whether it's fancy or not. I quite like a Japanese whiskey. I couldn't tell you any brand of it because you can't fucking read it.
I've got a mate who likes some Japanese stuff. Again, same thing. Can't remember any of the name of it, but he swears by them. It's his third thing now. Fair play to him. But I think it's the same in Inglorious, but I can't remember the film. I want to say it was Inglorious Bastards or something. I like Scotch. Scotch doesn't like me, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
dabble too much with it. So we've done your drink, you've done your crisps. What is your perfect fry up from a calf? And if you have to take something off it, what are you taking off?
Perfect fry up is eggs, bacon, sausage, fried slice, toast. Can't eat too much fried slice. It's too greasy. But if you have to lose one of them things, just fuck the toast off because they've got a fried slice.
Are you pro beans or anti beans on a fry up?
Neither. I don't eat beans, but if I have to eat beans, it will only be with a fry up.
That's a fair assessment. It is a fry up food. Well, I am the same. I just don't eat them. Don't like them.
Because it's the thing with if you've got too much toast at the end of it, that's what the beans go with. And if
Yeah.
the toast goes cold, you use the beans, it gets a bit soggy, it warms it up a bit, you can eat it still.
Yeah, definitely. When you are painting or you've got time to yourself, what are you doing with it? Are you listening to stuff, watching, reading?
I go through things of watching different things. There's a recent I just rewatched last week. Quentin and I rewatched the old anime Berserk.
Yep. Okay.
Before that, I watched the Castlevania one on Netflix. And before that, it was a long period. I rewatched, not in order, but I watched all the Predator films.
Yes.
From release day onwards, and then once I got through them, I watched all of the Alien ones. And then after that, I watched Silent Hill, the 2 ones, and I managed to watch the new one, and then I watched all of the Resident Evil films, like one after the other. It's not like I'm really watching them; it's just sort of like in my ear.
Yeah, background.
And you hear things and you go, oh, I know what happens here now. Like something will click in your brain, go, oh, and I'll look up and go, this is a good bit.
Predator is my favourite one for that, because it just gets to the bit where Billy gets snatched. He's not Billy, as Blaine gets done. Mac picks up the minigun every time. Like, I'll have it on in the background. The moment it hits that bit, up you go. Just watch them devastate that bit of jungle.
Yeah. So the thing is with Predator, I always say that Predator 2 isn't a sequel. It's a standalone film.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the first one, and I think Predator 2 is fucking awesome.
It is,
especially with the thing with especially in the bedroom with the I can't remember his name now, the Colombian drug lord and his missus, and like he just gets strung up, and other people come along like, what the fuck happened here? Like, yeah, that was pretty nasty. Like, I enjoyed that.
I think I agree. Predator 2 is its own thing, much like Prey is its own thing, and then the most recent one they did is its own thing. Badlands, I think they called it, wasn't it? The newest one. They are all, you watch them as standalone things. They can intertwine a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're just different stories with a similar alien. That's it.
I mean, I will say with that Badlands one, though, you have to watch it because nobody can talk Predator, whatever language it is. You need to read the fucking subtitles. You can't get away with just listening to it. You have to pay attention. There's no dub version of it. It's just read the subtitles, mate.
Oh, if they did a dub version and they just give it some dodgy voice, that'd be amazing. Oh, fuck me. But yeah, I didn't mind Badlands. It wasn't amazing. It did a job.
Yeah,
I think
same with like the one with where they crash on the planet with Danny Trejo in it.
Yeah,
it's not the greatest of films, but it's well worth watching.
Yeah,
for a Predator film.
That was ridiculous as well because that had Adrian Brody in it trying to be this hard man. It's like, hang on, bruv. Your last film, you were running away playing piano and shit. You're a serious actor. What are you doing in this? But
I mean, after rewatching all them with the Alien ones, the only one I would ever say don't bother watching is Prometheus.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to watch it at all. It doesn't do anything for the idea of it. To my knowledge, I remember watching it again. I was like, was there even any aliens in this? Like,
I remember that came out 2012. I was talking to my mum earlier about this. I remembered what I was doing in 2012, and the girl I was going out with at the time, and she was buzzing for it, and because she's like a big H.R. Geiger fan. And I was like, okay, we'll go see this. And I remember sitting there thinking, this is fucking trash. What is it like? Especially the bit where you got Idris Elba and his crew fly the spaceship into the other one, and you're meant to feel something for him, and it's like, okay, great, yeah, you just kill yourselves, it's fine. Do what
it's
you
like
want.
one of the films you watch and you go, is this going to end soon? Like, not in a horrible way, just like, it's not bad, but I've got bored of it.
Yeah, but you've paid your money, so you got to sit through and watch it, haven't you? So, obviously, you mentioned your anime as well there, and again, obviously, we were chatting a little while ago because I went to watch Akira in the cinema. What is your standout anime that you would recommend to someone who's never watched anime? Yeah.
Akira, technically, like, so when you talk about films, and I to say like, oh, what are like your top 5 favourite films? Akira's in there for one of my top 5 with Predator, RoboCop, The Warriors. I love that fucking film.
Great film.
And Transformers, the cartoon version.
I was
in
going
the
to say, which one? Yeah.
fucking awesome. But yeah, on the anime things, yeah, like especially earlier stuff, like yeah, Akira, Violence Jack, Fist of the North Star,
Yeah.
and then more modern stuff, Bleach as a
Hmm.
series. I really like Chainsaw Man.
I
That's
still
a
not
new
dabbled
one.
with that. I do need to get into that at some point.
Mental, like that really is mad. The Castlevania ones on Netflix are really good because I
Hmm.
like vampire stuff as well.
Yeah.
Right, especially with film like Lost Boys,
Right.
Interview with a Vampire, the Blade stuff. Even though some of them are bad, I can still watch them. Especially the one with what's it, Triple H in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking so bad, but it's like one of them films that are so bad it's good to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, even like Ghost in the Shell, another old one, which is a classic.
Great film. Yeah.
Especially like some of the earlier stuff of that. Uh, I mean, I've probably watched so much anime that I can't remember half of it, and some of the stuff I've watched is obscure.
Mm.
There was one I watched a few years ago, a, 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 something Maid Wars, a Kimma Maid Wars. I can't remember the name of it, and it was like one of them maid cafes in Japan sort of thing.
Right.
And these they're like assassins, and they're just trying to like, and it's like gang warfare between these like girls in weird like maid costumes, and it's murder. It's just murder every episode. There's just death and violence. You're like, well, whoever wrote this is like needs to be, needs some sort of mental checkup because this is mad.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else that's watched it. It was just some random one I came across, watched it, and was like, well, yeah, I won't ever forget I watched that stuff again. Like, but
No,
yeah, I
it's
always
so
say if people are
good.
going to want to watch something that isn't childish and it's got some sort of serious content with a full-on story, Akira is the way to go.
Yeah. It's crazy you say about like random ones because I always remember one. It was on an advert. You know when you used to get the old VHS ones, or the old manga releases, you put them in. You have the wicked intro where it's the heavy metal, all of them cut up, and then you might get some adverts. There was this one advert I remember, and I managed to get a hold of it. But essentially, the concept is that there's too many old people in Japan, so a company makes nuclear powered automatic beds to look after old people. And this one bed with this old guy in it gets sentience and goes on a robotic rampage and it starts destroying Tokyo and shit. And you're watching it. And there's this poor old guy strapped to it who's near death. He's like, what the fuck's going on? And the only thing that can stop it, typically because it's a Japanese cartoon, is a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And you just watch it, like, what the fuck? And there's another one. I don't know if you heard of this one. Ultimate Teacher.
No, that one doesn't.
I found a link to it on YouTube. I'll send you it to watch. It is batshit mental. It's gangs take over a high school and they employ this teacher to try and bring the gangs in, and it just turns into this gang war between the two of them. I won't say much else because I want to send you it to watch, but it's just fucking ridiculous. And again, it was like early 90s, so same thing. Someone who's just done a load of drugs is like, I want to write the shit out of this and it's going to be fucking great. But I'll send you it. It's ridiculous.
There was one I see something. I think it was this morning I see it, and they was talking about some '90s anime that was dubbed for the BBC for like
That one, yes.
Matt Lucas
Yeah.
or something. And I was like, I need to find this wherever this is. I need to see these two episodes because like it was like called someone a nonce and like
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab you. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like this was on daytime TV. I need to find this.
It's mad. Like, I love the fact that like when you're listening to a lot of the dub stuff back in the day, you can recognize similar voices across them all. Like the Ninja Scroll guy's voice was always really stood out for me when you'd hear him in other things, and the same with the original dub of Akira because it was Leonardo from Turtles. Like that always stuck with me. But it's crazy when you hear non-American accents doing it, and you're just like, why are they English? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. It is odd, especially sometimes especially when you watch anything, even like the modern stuff that's dubbed. You'll be watching it and you go, oh yeah, yeah, and then that voice doesn't suit that person.
Yeah.
And especially with like, 'cause everything's dubbed for in American way. Like,
Yeah.
so one I've watched recently was Jujutsu Kaisen,
Oh yeah.
and that was really, really good. And I thought, you know what? There's no voices that didn't match any of the people. And I did recently watch the new series, and I was like, this is shit. I was like, they had me hooked, and then this has come out, and it's turned into like the Hunger Games, I say, and I was like, this isn't working anymore. And I think I might even have one. I don't know if it all came out or there's one or two episodes left, but I was like, this is becoming a struggle now. And usually with anime, it becomes a struggle because the voices don't fit, and you're like, I can't. It's like when you watch something on Netflix. Oh, this looks good. You put it on, go. The mouths don't go up with the words, and you realise, oh, this was a Brazilian program. This is really good, but I'm watching it going, no, the voices don't work. I can't watch it. Like,
Yeah, I get you. No, it does throw you. I think the other one is that, and a weird trope of modern anime I found as well is that every episode they have to remind you what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen loads of people banging on about Spy X Family, so I was like, I'll give it a go. I'll give anything a try once. And then watching it, and every episode the guy's like, I'm doing this because I have to spy on these people to prevent a war. And you're like, okay, great. You don't need to remind me every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Stop it. I've watched the episodes. I know the fucking plot.
I watched the first series of that, and I've watched the film, but I haven't got any further with that. I don't know why. I suppose, yeah, I don't know what the guy's name was, but that was annoying. I just enjoyed the little girl in it because she talks like a complete idiot, and it just made me laugh. I'm going ooting. It just cracked me up every time she said it. I even at a point like my kid was walking, we're going on ooting. Because it's a bit more child friendly. It's on Netflix or Disney. You could watch it with the kids on it, or with the kids around. It was all right, but yeah, it was the fact that so I must do this, and like his name was such a giveaway. It was like Holder or something. You're like, like he's the main character, and it's the worst thing about the program.
Yeah, it is weird, but I know Donk, my co-host, he hasn't ever watched anything, and I think when we had Ollie Blackheart on, we were both on it and like at least watch Akira or Ghost in the Shell. So the fact that you've said those same ones as well, I'm gonna bully him when he's back, and I'm gonna have to get him to watch them.
Ninja Scroll, but make sure there's no kids around.
They're all grown for him, so that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, there's some scenes in like Ninja Scroll that you can't be watching with kids.
When you're 12, 13 watching that, and that's your intro to anime, you're like, what the fuck's going on in this?
Yeah. So I think what was the first thing I
think I've lost you.
My phone just tried to do an update. It was like, you're going to do an update. I was like, fuck off. Go back. I forget it. My phone will do it for months and months, reschedule. You finally do it, it doesn't do anything for 2 days, and it goes, there's been a new update. Just leave me alone. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I did one a week ago. Like, I did one 2 days ago, and now it's just telling me I need to do it again. Technology fucking sucks.
That's it. We didn't have that shit back in the day. Like, you bought a phone, you'd use it until the battery died, and then you get a new one. None of this update shit. Mate, give us all Nokia 3210s again.
Yeah, because I was saying before, earlier on, I thought, I've got to do this on my phone. I was thinking, is it going to work properly? I thought, I've got a Chromebook. And I got it when I got this phone. And I was like, look, I've got a laptop. I can do some things here. And when you tell these, this is just a giant phone that can't make phone calls because it's just like it wants to use the Play Store. So I downloaded Instagram on it, and it's like the screen's even smaller than my phone screen. You're like, and you're trying to resize it. And you get it so you can see, and you're trying to scroll through Instagram, and you can't. And you're like, how's this? I have to turn it off. Down cold, and I think at some point I'll use this again. Like, it won't work, and I'll just put it down somewhere. Probably should have sold it instead of opening out the box. It's like a £200 Chromebook that I've got no use for. I can't work out and use the fucking thing.
Like I said earlier, mate, we are now at that stage where we looked at our parents as kids and thought, "Fucking hell, how can you not work this?" And now it's our turn. Our kids are going to be looking at us like, "What do you mean you can't update your phone?" Jesus.
Yeah. Like someone gives me an Apple phone, like my mum and dad have both got Apple phones. They go, yeah, just go on the internet and like get it up. How the fuck do you get the internet up? It's an Apple phone. I have no idea how to use it. Are you going to what's Safari? Like what's that? I just like on my phone. What I have a Google search bar. There's the internet. Like everyone's always doing this, that, and that. I don't know. I don't know.
You do it. Don't give me your phone. You sort it out yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to doing some hobby questions for the next. What time we've got? I think we've run a bit over. We'll do a quick 5-10 minutes more of hobby questions, and then we'll call it a night. But I've enjoyed this, Les, mate. You've been cracking to have on and chat to. And when Dunk's back on, we'll get you back on later on in the year.
I did say to him, I said, if I'm really good at waffling bollocks and entertainment, I'll happily come back and do it again. Because this is actually the first time in a sense of this sort of idea of me putting my face on the internet.
Yeah.
And what I said, I've got a face for radio and a voice for silent films. You know, my voice. Yeah. When I've ever heard my voice recorded, it sounds absolutely horrible.
Probably why Graham came on and asked if I tuned into EastEnders, but fuck that guy. He's not. So, well, like I say, we'll round up some more quick hobby questions and we'll call it a night. Obviously, when you've got back into all your hobbying and stuff, back in the day, we didn't have the huge centerpiece models that they've got now. Do you think you'd have a stab at one of those, like a Mortarion, a Primarch, or something along those lines?
Yeah. I do like the idea of, especially when you look at some of the bigger ones, like the AOS stuff.
Yeah.
All them models look cool as fuck. I really like the, the Cog Fault that came out recently.
Yeah.
Because I look at them and go, I want to build the walking mausoleum from Elden Ring. Like, I want to build one of them. But then, especially on the 40k sets thing, I like some of the bigger Necron stuff.
Mm.
But then I look at them and I go, they are attached to the base by like 2 bits of plastic. I wouldn't even want to pick it up, let alone try to stick one together.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you look at like the Primarchs, like Mortarion, but then if I was to do a Primarch, I would either want one of the emo boys to be done at a bigger scale instead of a Horus Heresy, Conrad or Corvax.
Yeah.
One of them possibly, but if they don't ever do one of them, at some point I would probably have to buy some sort of AOS. Maybe what are they called? The Night Haunts.
Oh, the
yeah, I think there's a couple of them which look pretty cool. Other than that, yeah, maybe that Cog Fault.
That looks ridiculous. That is like a pure anime nightmare, though, isn't it? It is a castle with legs. Someone's been watching too much House Moving Castle for that one.
Yeah. That is really interesting to do.
Yeah. Do you think that, I know obviously you say like you're primarily on the 40k stuff. Do you look at some of the AOS stuff every now and again and think, why are their models so much better? Because I know I do.
Yeah. I think I've come to the decision that once I've possibly got, ideally I'd like to have one 2,000 point army built.
Yeah.
And then, so that'd be what is my Raven Guard. And then I want to try and get like 1,000 points of Chaos, which would mainly be Death Guard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with the Chaos Legionnaire things as making them a Death Guard because they look more like every other Chaos unit, not like them.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought 3 Noise Marines from a war boot and I've painted them as Night Lords.
That's a good one.
Why can't Night Lords make noise? It makes sense.
Does make sense.
So I'd like to have like 1,000 point of Chaos, and then I would like to have 1,000 point of like Renegade extradited, which I want to do as Soul Drinkers. And then possibly once I got all of that, I would like to probably go into building some sort of mass amount of AOS, which would probably be the vampire ones and the Night Hawks, some like the more spookier side of things, a bit more Bloodborne-y. Yeah, other than that, maybe dip into some Trench Crusade. I don't know.
That's a good shout, because I mean, it is something that with Trench Crusade, there's more and more of it coming out. It's more and more coming to like the fore, isn't it? Like it's had a good release, but they keep building on good releases with it. It's not like it's gone away, which I think is really good.
Yeah. And
And
then
sorry, go on.
no, that's probably like the Church Crusade. Every time I've seen stuff, I'm like, oh, they say, hey, oh, that looks fucking cool. And then a couple of weeks later, say, I didn't see that before.
Mm.
And there's more stuff, and then some of it looks more sort of military, and other things just look straight out of a horror film. But you're like, is this all the same game, or is there different, like, so with Warhammer, is there different versions of games for different models? But I've never looked into it. But the main reason I would like sort of things from, as long as it's all the same sort of size and can be, I'll say more like used, because I'd like to try my hand at one-page rules.
Yeah.
Because from what I can get to it, as long as what you're using has got rules, you can fight anything else that has rules for it, and it doesn't matter if it's come from 40k or Horus Heresy or possibly even like Warhammer Fantasy or the Old World or AOS. As long as there's rules for it, you can use them. And then I have seen before things where people have used 40k and they've used them against like the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
There's been Space Marines, Ultramarines fighting Stormtroopers. Yeah, why not? If there's rules for it, it's just rolling with the dice.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what they look like.
Yeah, definitely. What are your plans then with respect to 11th? I know obviously we touched on it a little while ago. Are you going to proper dive into it and do some more Marines, more Orcs, or do you think you just pick up the rule book and not worry too much about the rest of them?
I'd probably say I literally earlier in the day, I finished the last thing of Space Marine stuff I finished the Dreadnought off today.
Yeah.
So I finished the base off, that's done. Other than that, I've got some Sisters of Battle I can paint up, which can be used with them, but then that still doesn't equal 2,000 points.
Mm.
I'm not going to buy anything until 11th has come out and there's be new models. Just because like I'd rather paint something new than something that's been around for too long.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I still want to buy a box of the old Catachans just because they look goofy and ridiculous. But I think if I ever do see one, I buy one. Should I just leave it in the plastic wrapping and just keep hold of it?
Yeah.
Also, I need to paint the tank just for the point of painting the tank. But
yeah.
What one, I don't know.
No, I agree with you that. I think in especially with 40k, there's so many armies out there that have got some sort of vehicle. If you haven't painted one at some point, it's worth giving it a go just for something different.
And that of a vehicle, I probably will go with the Sisters of Battle, one of theirs, because some of their things are just mental. There's like the organ tank thing, and that new one they released, which is like a mech warrior toilet thing. I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. You look and go, that's just mad. And there's other things they've got. People sitting on some sort of mechanical throne.
Yeah.
Get off.
Yeah, you are right. I think vehicles, especially, having done one a little while ago, it's worth a crack at just for something different to do. It's taking the skills that you've learned and applying them on much flatter panels and trying to figure out how it works. But it is worth it. I think my last question for tonight then, where do you see your hobby in a year's time?
If I could, maybe having something that I would feel comfortable entering into a painting competition. I don't want to ever say like win one, but I would like to be able to paint something that when it's in a cabinet, someone goes, "Oh, I can look at that," and that'd be like, that'd make me happy. If someone just goes, "Oh, that looks fucking cool," that fucking right, and someone has a look at it and turns away and looks at it again and goes, "Oh yeah." I've got no desire to win one of these things. Not so I'm going to I can go to Germany and win a fucking golden demon or a Depticon and, you know, walk away with some sort of badge or anything. But yeah, I'd like to be able to have something half decent enough that no one looks at it and goes, why has someone done that? Like, what was the point of doing that? But at least so it looks all right in there. Perhaps trying to climb the curtain.
No, you know what? I think that is a nice way of putting it, because we've had people on who are really, really good painters, but scared to enter painting contests. And like you say, if you just manage to turn someone's head,
yeah,
that in itself, like that's a nice little win. That is a nice little win, yeah. Right, your cat seems like it's going to start ripping the curtains off the wall. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up there. Just before we go, though, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, like the little gaming club I go to, which is Warzone Tactics. Ryan, the old itty bitty painter, like he paints stuff, and I look here and it just makes me go, yeah, you can put colours there which shouldn't be there. Sort of pushing the boundaries of like colour theory in a way. There's another the other guy who I talk to a lot who paints a lot of AOS stuff, and he's a 40 WD. These names are a bit weird. It was something else, and then he got a cease and desist from WD-40, and he lost an account. Crazy story, but give him some of the stuff he does. It makes me think a bit more of what to do.
Good stuff.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, okay, Les, thank you very much for coming on tonight, mate. We'll get you back on later in the year when Dunk's about as well. It's been a lovely, lovely time chatting to you. And just last comment, how can people follow you?
My Instagram is a Child of the Emperor with the thing under, not a dash, the bottom dash. The same on YouTube. I have little models that spin round to random music. That's about it. I don't know why I put them there. Half the time I forget it's there. And I'll put one up on there, and then I'll forget about it for 2 months and go, oh shit, yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, and I'll do it again.
Cool. Well, I'll give that a look, and we'll give you a plug, mate. For anyone that's watching, thank you very much for tuning in. We're back next week. I don't think we've got a guest lined up, so we'll sort something out in between now and then. So please feel free to tune in. Dunk will be back off of his dirty sunbed, and hopefully we won't have to see his feet ever again. And until next time, thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll catch you soon on another one.
Cheers, Les. Catch you later.